Hey everyone, it's Lisa here, also known as Maggie Mylow on YouTube. I am coming to you today for an Art Party Friday, and I'm starting off in my large Dilutions book. So usually I work in like the large book that I have, which I believe is 11 by 14, so it's a big monster. So I thought maybe to change it up so that way you guys could see all of what's going on, I would go to the large Dilutions journal so it fits in frame. So I have pre-gessoed, I taped my spine, I'm ready to go. So in the inspiration piece, which is going to come up right there, oh my god, can I tell you, I was so just struck by inspiration on this mood board. I know I said the last time I had a hard time with like the dark grays and, you know, more of the neutral kind of palette, and I wasn't really sure where it was going. And honestly, I'm not finished that page yet, so I still don't know where it's going. But I really love that pop of pink, that bright, you know, kind of cherry red on there. And like the stripes with the pattern paper, and I was just so inspired. So actually I'm starting off with pattern paper today. Scrapbooking pattern paper. Yes, I am going to mix it up. So I have a couple of pieces of paper from Maggie Homes, and then I have this one from Studio Calico. This is the Amelia collection. I believe these ones are from the open book. Let's see. This one's Style Board, and this one's from Open Book from the Maggie Homes collection. I'm really using it for these. I'm going to be ripping and tearing, so if you really love this paper, sorry, it's not going to stay pretty like this. And then I'm just going to ever so slightly add in the hint of this black and white stripe. So to do that, I was going to use matte medium, but I think I need to opt for a kind of a thicker medium. So I'm actually going to use the soft gel matte. So this is just going to hold that paper down. So if this makes you squeamish, avert your eyes now. So I'm just going to rip off pieces, and then I'm just going to kind of randomly place them across the two pages. And I honestly don't have a clue what's going to happen. No plan. Best thing with art journaling is to not come in with a plan, because as soon as you come in with a plan, it doesn't go the way you want it to anyway. So I'm going to do that. I'll be back. This done, which it looks really busy. So let's calm it down. We're going to do a wash with gesso. So I'm just going to put a little bit of gesso on here. I'm going to use my spray bottle, if I can find it. There we go. And just add some water to it. That's just going to really thin down that gesso. And then see, we can just get a nice white wash over top of the whole thing. And that's just going to calm everything right down and kind of put a little bit of unity on everything. So let's do that. I'll dry it, which won't take long, and then we'll come back. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to just kind of hide these harsh lines. So I have my gesso over here and a I kind of went from using palette paper to using this. This is parchment paper, a lot cheaper. So I'm just going to add a little bit to my palette here. Oh, and the other nice thing about using the parchment paper, can totally use it in art journaling later. So I'm just going on the back side of my palette, and then you can just see I'm just hiding those really kind of drastic lines that it's just going to make those lines disappear and then kind of make the paper look like it's embedded into the page. So I have my book off to the side for a minute. I want to show you, this is some tissue paper by Tim Holtz that I kind of colorized. This is what it originally looks like, and I'm going to use that. So I'm just going to show you what I did. So I'm going to take some Victorian velvet and I'm just going to like brush it on here, a couple spots. Very random, don't put a lot of thought into it. And then this is the Picked Raspberry. I believe I used the Worn lipstick, which I cannot find. So these ones, this color might not look exact, but. And then this is the Spun Sugar. And then all I did is I took some water, gave it a good spray, and then just kind of scrunched it up in my hands. And then just kind of like keep smooshing it until you see like all the color is saturated on that tissue paper. You're gonna have yucky hands, so if you don't like that, I suggest you put on rubber gloves or something like that. But you can see like you're gonna get this kind of variegated look to that tissue paper, and when it dries it's going to dry a little bit lighter, so you can see like it's pretty close to the colors that I chose. It's just a little bit deeper pink, and then I just blow dried this to dry it up. So what I want to do is I have my glue gun here. I'm going to actually make flowers from these pieces of tissue paper. Now in the inspiration piece there was these pretty little flowers, and I'm like, well, how can I recreate those flowers? I was trying to figure out how I could do that, and the best thing I could think of, and especially like when you are putting something in your art journal, you want something that's not very dimensional, because if you start adding something that's dimensional in your book, it's going to be really hard to close. So I was trying to think of something that could smoosh or very, very thin, and I came up with this. So I don't know if this is going to work. I have no idea. It was just a random thought. So I'm going to take these pieces that I already have done, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to rip this one into a smaller piece. You can just see like I'm just doing some smaller pieces. I'll probably rip this one in half again. And what you want to do, like I said, I've never done this before, so I kind of want to make a flower with it. So just to kind of like scrunch it up and then just kind of play with it. I want some big ones and some small ones, and I'm just going to kind of like maybe like tuck underneath until I get like the resemblance of like a flower shape. So just like that. So then I thought, well, how am I going to glue this down? I can't really use matte medium, because if I use matte medium, it's going to take a while to dry. I would have to like completely saturate the paper. So therefore the hot glue gun comes into place. Now with hot glue, you want to be very careful with it, because as soon as you add heat, say to this page, it's going to start to release from the paper, so you're just going to have to be aware of that. So it doesn't bother me, so I'm just going to put a little on the back side here and just kind of smoosh it down and just kind of like wiggle it around until you kind of see that it's going to hold. I'm probably going to put something on the middle of these flowers just to kind of make them hold down, but for right now that one's done. So I'm going to do that a couple more times. I'm going to try and have like 5 flowers on here. So I'm going to fast forward and we'll see what we can come up with. Okay, so I have those glued down. Before I put those down, I have these twinkling H2Os. I just thought maybe let's just add a little bit of sparkle. I've never played with these before, so I thought maybe if I, you know, put them on, spray them with water, and just kind of let them whoosh out, like if that makes sense. So I've got this darker color and then this lighter color. See if it says anything on for color-wise. Okay, so this one is Blue Russet. And this one is called Flamingo Pink. Ooh, very fun. So I've never, like I said, I've never played with this before. I'm just gonna take a little bit on a palette knife. I don't know how much you need of this, so let's just go like that. I just want to kind of create a little bit of, I don't know, just a little something something. So just put on each one of those little center pieces. And then I'm just going to move this out of the way. And then I'm just going to take my spray bottle and just go like that. See what that does. Where I'm at. These are all dry and I'm not sure if you guys can see that sheen. Look at, oh, right there you can see, that sheen. Oh, it's just so pretty. So I want to put something in the centers and I found these are no back brads. These are from the I Am collection. So they're already self-adhesive, but just to make sure they stay stuck, I'm actually going to use some hot glue and kind of squish them in here. I do like this one that says I am, so I'm gonna put this one right here and I'm just gonna kind of, I'm not sure if I'm gonna add something to, you know, I don't know, distress them, but I do like that how it says I am. And I like this one that has butterflies. Ooh, I like this one that has black polka dots. It kind of just accentuates everything. So I'm just gonna stick that in there. Give it a good squish down. See, now they look more like flowers. I'll use this one that looks like a butterfly. So I'm just gonna do that to each one of these. And then, I don't know, well, obviously these flowers need some sort of stems. So I'm gonna figure out what to do with them and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to use some black, surprise, surprise. I'm going to use some black India ink, if I can get it open. And I'm going to drip my stems. I don't know, I'm into dripping right now. I think I've been spending too much time with Anita. So I am just going to make sure I don't drop anything. I'm pushing everything up because I'm going to have to tip it like this. So I'm just going to take the black India ink, just squirt a little bit. I'm just going to come up underneath these flowers right here. And then just kind of tip it up and let them drip. See what that looks like. Oh yeah. You see that? Okay, so I'm going to do that to these flowers as well as the other side. likey. Okay, first of all, I love that. It looks freaking awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna dry that because India ink takes a while to dry. So I'm gonna dry that, then kind of figure out what I'm gonna do next. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've sat here and I was trying to think about what to do to this page. I love it already, but I wanted to add like a subtlety to it. I wanted to add something that is just kind of like hidden in the background, but then something that'll bring out these flowers a little bit more. So I did a play on this a little while back on the Crafty Maven Art Party Friday that I did with the deer and like the neon and stuff like that. And I did like this brush lettering with some white paint in the background. And it showed up, but it didn't show up. So I'm going to kind of play on that. So I actually have some white paint. This is titanium white paint with some airbrush medium. And this is a fine liner applicator. This is the 18 gauge. There is, I believe it's a 20 gauge as well. So because I have this I wanted to kind of write words in here as like a positive influence to myself. So I am, and then just kind of go from there. So I'm just going to fast forward as I'm writing like things that I feel like that I am in a positive aspect. And then once it's dry, I'm going to figure out how I can kind of maybe like make it subtle. So because this is acrylic paint, anything that I do with a water base over top of it is going to resist that. So that's kind of where I'm going with this. So I'm just going to do my little positive messages to myself, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I started working on this. I'm like, whoa, I gotta stop. I always do that, and I'm sorry, the camera's jiggling. I just hit it. Okay, so I started working when the camera was off. I'm like, no, I can't do it. I have to stop. So it's, oh my gosh, you guys, it looks awesome. So I have this $1 brownie. These are the acrylic artist inks. So this is fluid acrylic ink. So, when I go like this, and I just kind of put some down, I'm going to use a baby wipe to kind of wipe it around. I'm going to actually spray with a little bit of water too. I'm going to use this as a glaze. Now, I know in the inspiration piece there was no blue, but I just feel like the blue just kind of popped everything quite a bit more. And it just, I don't know, it just made everything look amazing. So now to just kind of lift it a little bit, just spray with a little bit of water, get a new baby wipe, and then just kind of wipe back. And you can just see like it just made those words pop, but yet they're still in the background. Oh, it just looks amazing. So I'm just going over with a really light glaze. You could do certainly darker if you want. But I just like the very subtle look. That's always the look I kind of go for, is the subtlety, or I'm like super bright. But you can see like if I wanted to leave it very, very dark, see how those words pop. So the only thing is, because it's acrylic ink, you're going to want to make sure you, you know, get them off the words if you want to make them pop a little bit more. So you can see like that's what it looks like now. If I go over with just a spray of water and then just a quick little kind of like buff, how that just kind of like, oh, I just love that subtlety to it. It's just whatever look you want to get with that. Okay, that looks freaking brilliant. So what happens if I would go over with a brown? Or, oh, I could go over with a brown just around the edges, just to kind of tint everything in. I'm just giving these a good shake because it looks like they've been settled for a little bit. So I'm going to get a couple new baby wipes. I'm just going to go around the edge. So just like that. I'm going to get my new baby wipe. I'm going to just see, just kind of play with. Oh, look at that. You guys, look at that. Oh, that looks so cool. Okay, so I'm just going every now and again with, this is iridescent bronze fine. So just, I mean like very little, just kind of around some of the edges. And that's just gonna get a little bit of sheen happening. I'm not even sure if you'll see it like in the corner there, just ever so slightly. And I mean like I am using a very, very small amount. And that's just going to kind of get some high tones, some shine back into this. And then if it's a little too bright, like that spot's just ever so slightly bright for me, just take a baby wipe and then just move it with your fingers just back around the page. Okay, so the only thing that I think I'm going to do, and hopefully I don't wreck it, is I'm just going to do some subtle drops of indie ink. So just a few, so just like that. I'm not doing big drops, just so subtle drops. And if it lands on the flowers, that's quite alright. Alright, you know what? I love it. I'm calling it done. That little settle of the indie ink is just kind of like gravitating towards like up. So it could be relevant to anything, but I don't know. This page was therapeutic for me. It was to write a positive message to myself, but embed it into the page. So that way it's relevant to myself, but you know, anybody just flipping through the book wouldn't really know that that's what those messages are. So I think your challenge for this week is to kind of write a positive message. I just chose words, but you know, something that is a positive message to yourself. I think a lot of the times we beat ourselves up, and I think this is a good way to kind of just bring yourself up and say, yes, I am a wonderful person. I am nice. I am polite. I am kind. I'm courteous. So just write a positive message to yourself and just, you know, pour your heart out about how you are a positive role model, or however you want to look at it, or just write positive little words just like I did. But do something that, you know what, you are a good person. So write out your feelings, but somehow embed it into your art. So I really love this page. This one was very therapeutic for myself. If you like this page and you want to see more, head over to my channel, which the information will be below, and please subscribe. Also like this video and leave a comment below, and don't forget to check out tomorrow over at the Crafty Maven, and we will see you guys soon. Bye.